Alright, so let's continue in our series where we look at some revision questions. If you haven't seen the first part, we had 1 to 100 revision questions already in the first part. This is the second part where we'll have another 100, making it 200 questions, and subsequently in the third part we'll have another 100. So the belief is that if you can revise these 300 questions, then at least you'd be good to go to answer any question that is related to the use of library and information literacy skills. So let's go. 101, discussing about APA and referencing style. So this one says, 101 says, a psychology student is instructed to use APA style. What does APA means? APA stands for American Psychological Association. So a student who uses the author's surname and year of publication, what type of citation is that? It's called in-text citation. In APA style, the list of sources used in the work appears at the end of your work, called it the reference list. So APA referencing requires sources to be arranged alphabetically in the reference list. That's true. A student includes the author's name and year like this, like you have OKK 2020 inside a paragraph. This is called what? In-text citation. Let's pick the odd one out. APA, MLA, Chicago, laptop. Laptop is not part of the referencing styles. The lecturer insists that students must use the same citation style throughout all the work. What is it trying to enforce? Consistency. When citing a book in APA, the student must include author, year, title, and what? And publisher. A student quotes an author's exact words and places them inside quotation mark. What type of citation is this? It's called direct quotation. Referencing style like APA helps to maintain what? It helps to help what we call standardization in referencing. Okay, so let's go to this. It says a student prepares a list of all cited sources, arrange them alphabetically by authors. What is this? It's called a reference list. When two authors write a book, APA connects their names using what symbol? The ampersand symbol, that is the and symbol. Okay, APA referencing helps readers trace the original source of information. That's true. A student uses APA referencing to avoid committing what academic offense called plagiarism. APA citation helps strengthen work credibility in academic work. Let's talk about QR codes. A student scans a square black and white image with a smartphone to access lecture materials. What technology is being used? QR code. We also use this for attendance. QR code stands for what? Quick response code. A lecturer places a QR code on the notice board linking students to an online article. What is his main aim? He wants them to get quick access to that information. QR codes can store website links. True or false? True. A library attaches QR codes to bookshelves so that students can open the online catalog instantly. What advantage does this provide? Fast access to information. Let's pick the odd one out. QR code, barcode, URL, chair. Chair doesn't have anything to do here. A student uses a mobile phone camera to scan a QR code. What device is required to read QR codes? You need a smartphone, or a scanner. QR codes help connect physical materials with what? With digital resources. A lecturer shares a QR code instead of typing a long website. What benefit is this? It provides convenience. Library uses QR codes mainly to improve what? To improve their access to information. A QR code printed in a textbook allows students to watch a video lesson online. The QR code is linking what? It's linking us to digital content. Let's say true or false for this. QR codes can store text, links, and contact information. That's true. A student scanning a QR code on a poster instantly opens a web page. What process is it called? Digital access. Pick the odd one out. Scanner app, smartphone camera, QR code reader, television antenna. The antenna has nothing to do here. QR code reduces the need for users to manually type what? Type URLs. Let's talk about copyright. So an author writes a book and legally owns the right to reproduce it. What protection covers the work? It's called copyright protection. Copyright protects the property of creators, the intellectual property of creators. True or false? Copyright allows creators to control how their works are used. Is that true? Yes, that's true. If student photocopies an entire textbook without permission, what law may be violated? Copyright law, or what we call copyright infringement. Copyright protection encourages by protecting creators' work. It encourages us to be creativity. Let's pick the odd one out. Copyright, intellectual property, football, author. Football. When a musician prevents others from copying their songs without permission, what legal protection is he using? He's using copyright protection. Copyright law protects literary, artistic, and dash works, intellectual works. A writer whose book is copied without permission may report copyright infringement. Copyright ensures creators receive recognition and dash for their works and protection for their works. So 141, a publisher reproducing a book legally must obtain dash from the author permission. True or false? Copyright infringement occurs when someone uses a work without authorization. That's true. Let's pick the odd one out. Book, music, film, air is not part of the intellectual properties. Copyright laws help protect the economic rights of the authors. That's true. Respecting copyright encourages fair use of creative works. Let's talk about plagiarism. A student copies text from a website and submits it as a personal work. What academic offense is this? It's called plagiarism. So plagiarism occurs when someone uses another person's idea without giving what? Credit to that person. True or false? Proper citation helps prevent plagiarism. That's true. A lecturer discovers a student copied paragraph from a textbook without citation. What do we call that? Plagiarism. Let's pick the odd one out. Citation, reference, list, bibliography, copying without credits. Copying without credits is not here. So 151, a student paraphrases an author's idea and includes the source. What academic principle is being followed? Referencing. Plagiarism violates what? Academic integrity in academic work. Submitting someone else's assignment as your own is an example of what? Plagiarism. True or false? Plagiarism can occur intentionally or unintentionally. True. Proper referencing helps maintain academic honesty. Let's move over to the ethical use of artificial intelligence. So a student uses an AI tool to generate ideas but rewrites them personally and cites sources. What practice is this? Responsible, what we call ethical use of AI. AI systems should operate with fairness, transparency, and what? And accountability. Is it true or false? AI generated information should be verified before we use them. That's true. A student blindly copies an AI generated assignment and answers to questions without checking them. What principle is being ignored? Responsible, or what we call ethical use. Pick the odd one out. Fairness, transparency, accountability, dishonesty. Dishonesty is one of the challenges we have ethically on AI. So ethical AI requires students to maintain what? Academic integrity. The lecturer advises students to use AI only as a learning aid. What idea is being emphasized? Ethical or responsible use of AI. AI ethics encourage protection of users' privacy. You don't send everything you have to artificial intelligence tools. True or false? AI should assist learning rather than replace human thinking. That's true. Responsible use of AI ensures information remains accurate and reliable. Let's move over to library networking. When libraries cooperate to share resources and services, this is called what? Library networking. A university library borrows materials from another institution through cooperation. What is this called? Resource sharing. True or false? Library networking allows libraries to expand access to information. That's true. A student obtains a book from another university library through cooperation between libraries. What benefit is that? Resource sharing. Let's pick the odd one out. Networking, cooperation, resource sharing, isolation. Isolation should not be here. Library networking helps libraries access materials beyond their own local collection. A network connecting several libraries allows users to access wider information resources. Cooperation between libraries improves efficiency and reduces what? Duplication. Library networking improves information accessibility for users. Is that true or false? That's true. Networking among libraries promotes wider dissemination of information. Let's go to 176. A student access digital journal through consortium of libraries. What system supports this? It's called library networking. Libraries sharing catalogs through network improve information what? Access. Pick the odd one out. Catalog sharing, resource sharing, cooperation, competition. Competition is not part of it. Networking allows libraries to share both service, both their resources and their services. Collaboration between libraries strengthens the overall information system. So let's look at just general questions now. So a student that checks the author and year of a source inside a paragraph. What citation method is this? In-text citation. We've talked about something like that before. A QR code on a poster directs students to an online journal database. What benefit is that? Quick access. Copying another person's work without acknowledgement. We've said that before, is academic without acknowledgement, you're trying to violate academic integrity. Copyright protects authors' intellectual property. That's true. The one that is not supposed to be here. If you talk about QR code, barcode, catalog, or banana should not be here. Referencing sources in assignments strengthens what? Credibility in your academic writing. Libraries sharing electronic resources across institutions. It's a form of networking. Ethical AI requires students to verify their AI output to avoid what we call black boxes. Plagiarism damages academic integrity. That's true. QR codes help connect printed materials to what? To digital resources. Then the last batch here we have using APA citation style ensures that we have a standardized way of referencing. Respecting copyright laws encourages original creativity. Libraries cooperating to check and laws improve information access. AI ethics promotes fairness, accountability, and transparency. So the odd one in this one is refrigerator. Then the last but not the least, providing credit to original author demonstrates that there's academic honesty. Libraries using networks to share materials increase resource availability. QR codes simplify access to online information. That's true. Ethical academic practice requires proper citation of sources. The student who acknowledges sources, verifies the information, and avoids plagiarism is practicing what? Ethical use of information. So this is the second batch, and hopefully we'll drop the third batch, which should be more directly related to our lecture notes. Thank you, and I hope this is useful. Kindly drop a thumbs up, your comments, and we'll respond to you as the need be. Happy revision.